It's a new year and a new zoo debuting on exhibit tours. Last January, I made a video listing the top 10 zoos I most wanted to visit, and 9 months later, the first of those zoos to be conquered was the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. While I maintain that every zoo offers its own unique experience, Cheyenne Mountain truly is a one-of-a-kind setting that every zoo enthusiast should see at least once. Located over 6,700 feet above sea level into the side of the mountain from which it gets its name, the zoo's landscape can make seeing even the more common zoo species feel completely different. Per the results of my subscriber poll, our first tour will be the African Rift Valley. Opening in 2003, it is the oldest of the zoo's 3 African-centric exhibits, although it is currently in the midst of receiving some major upgrades for the area's largest residents. Beginning at the lowest point of the attraction, for the past 20 years, your first impression of the exhibit would have been these towering fiberglass giraffe statues. However, according to a recent social media post, they are to be replaced by bronze sculptures that will mark the entrance of the new International Center for the Care and Conservation of Giraffe. More on that in a minute, but first, make sure you don't miss, like I somehow almost did, the giraffe's lesser-known forest-dwelling cousin placed in front of them. The Okapi is found only in the dense rainforest of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Like giraffes, okapis have dark prehensile tongues that can be 14 inches long, perfect for washing their eyelids. Here at Cheyenne Mountain, this unique animal is represented by Bahati, a male who recently celebrated his 12th birthday. He joined the CMZ family back in 2016, coming from his birthplace at Zoo Tampa. Continuing along the boardwalk is one of the first images that comes to mind when you think of the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. One of the largest herds of giraffes that you'll ever find in a traditional zoo, many of them lined up along the boardwalk that puts you at the perfect height to feed and interact with the world's tallest land mammal. Over 200 giraffes have been born here since the species debuted at the zoo in 1954. With that kind of breeding success, it's no surprise that the experts at Cheyenne Mountain are among the leading pioneers in captive giraffe care. To that end, the zoo decided that the herd's current 20-year-old accommodations weren't cutting edge enough anymore, and as I mentioned, the ground has already broke on the new ICCCG. I couldn't seem to find a timeline for the project's completion, but it will eventually offer the giraffes a new 10,000 square foot barn, complete with natural substrate and lighting, which the giraffes will be able to enter and exit as they please throughout the day. Additionally, the giraffe's outdoor space will be significantly expanded, giving the herd 4 times more space to roam across more varied terrain. So, while things may look significantly different around here if you visit in the future, one thing is for sure, visiting the giraffes will be one of the highlights of your trip to the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. The existing complex that I saw included a smaller side yard, I assume for individuals who need to be separated from the main herd, and I found even more giraffes inside their existing barn, which had a life-size display of giraffe anatomy. Across from the giraffe barn is a narrow yard where you would normally find the red river hog. However, they were temporarily off display due to the, at the time, recent birth of a single hoglet named Tumbo. But at least I got to see Waffles the Cape Porcupine filling in for the day. At this point, the pathway was closed off for the active construction, so to continue the tour we actually have to backtrack past everything we've already seen and take a stroll up the zoo's main road to one of the African Rift Valley's alternate entrances. Turning off the main road, the trail zigs and zags you past a backside view of the existing giraffe yard as well as the former zebra habitat, which I believe will become part of the expanded giraffe space. As the trail declines into a plaza, our next stop is a multi-level mesh habitat for Colobus Monkeys, and allegedly rock Hyraxes, although I failed to spot any. The exhibit comes with an adjacent wooden viewing tower that offers excellent viewing of each level of the exhibit. Though they may be common in American zoos, there is little common about the black and white colobus compared to other primates. As I've shared before, the name Colobus is derived from a Greek word meaning mutilated one, referencing the monkey's lack of thumbs. However, their missing thumbs are not really a mutilation, but rather an adaptation that aids their ability to move swiftly through the trees. As is the colobus's long, flowing mantle of fur, which acts as a parachute as the monkey leaps from one branch to another, and also gives the species its alternative name of the mantled gorilla. Past the monkeys is the main glass viewing for the pride of the zoo, the zoo's 4 African lions, parents Abuto and Lomela, and their adult offspring Aslan and Elsa. Since Abuto and Aslan can no longer share the same space, expect to find more lions in their connected public indoor habitat. Also within the plaza, you can find one of the zoo's 3 habitats for meerkats, the other 2 of which are located in the adjacent Encounter Africa exhibit. While the meerkats in Encounter Africa were busy making more meerkats last spring, as of January 2024, the habitat in the Rift Valley is home to a 4-member bachelor mob. Brothers Havoc, Pandemonium, and Nugget, all of whom were born here at the zoo. Finally, there's the old man Kamikaze, who has already exceeded the typical meerkat lifespan by several years. To get the full African Rift Valley experience, it is necessary to take another short hike up the main road, where you can get a topside view of the lion's hillside habitat, which is technically where the African Rift Valley ends, but even though the zoo's website considers them part of Encounter Africa, since their exhibit is connected to the lions, I figured I'd take the opportunity to talk about the Abyssinian ground hornbill. Also called the northern ground hornbill, they are slightly smaller than their southern cousins and have predominantly blue facial skin in place of the vibrant red we've seen on other tours. Ground hornbills are talented hunters, feeding on a variety of small mammals including venomous snakes and scorpions. Here in Cheyenne Mountain, you'll find Petrie and Layla, whose exhibit here was added in 2023 and was based on a real-life shop in Kenya to present the message of animals and humans learning to coexist in rural Africa. And now, we will conclude the first tour of 2025. If anyone ever tries to tell you that every African savanna exhibit is the same, just show them this one. A totally different experience seeing animals like giraffes, thanks to a one-of-a-kind setting. But if you thought this exhibit was unique, just wait until our next visit to Cheyenne Mountain, when we'll explore Africa's waterways in an exhibit like nothing I've ever seen before. Next week, we'll be traveling just an hour and a half north to find out what's new at the Denver Zoo.